Gentlemen, we're going to open the meeting today, 22nd of August. Welcome everybody to come through. Right, we'll open the meeting. There is a standing order set in place. So we'll go through to the public session then. Martin Hill isn't here, I can see.
No, he's given his apologies.
Okay, Dixon,
Yeah,
Warren.
he's given his apologies.
Okay. So, questions from the public then, please. Anybody want to start?
Yeah, I'd just like to ask a question. Can somebody tell me who deemed it necessary to report to me as a councillor to the SKD monitoring officer?
I was asked by a number of people for advice. Our standing orders say that I should contact the monitoring officer for advice, to which I did. And then they, for some reason, don't know, this is SKDC, turned around and said they couldn't give me any advice unless it was made into a formal complaint. And therefore that is the route it went.
So all councillors agreed that it should go to the SKD monitoring officer?
It was not just it was a number of people. And like I say, our standing orders do say that if there is a query, I should seek advice from the monitoring
Why
officer.
then could not you, as responsible officer, or the chairman, just approach me and ask the questions?
Because I did not know and I needed that advice, and therefore I turned to the monitoring officer for advice.
Just to let everybody know that I'll report it to the SKDC monitoring officer because my fellow parish councillors accused me basically of making money and abusing my role as a parish councillor. This is really the car events. Because £600 were raised, they thought I was making X amount of pounds. And I gave my answers to the monitoring officer, who was very satisfied with Kennedy. I've been running the club for 21 years till I backed in 2020, and I've never made a single penny profit out of anything. So I just like to know that. I'm going to go back to that answer.
Okay.
Thank you.
Ryan.
Several rumours in Facebook which I don't read, my wife does, regarding welfare units on the car park. Don't really understand the logic, as we've been through this process several years ago and it all ended up in a mess. Lots of comments about cars on the street, etc. about there wouldn't be cars on the street. Well, tonight I walked by, there's 37 cars-ish in the car park. Referees always park on the green because it's always parked in the car park because always we've got damage forms or something. So I don't understand the logic of the football club wanting to put welfare cabins on tarmac when we've got acres of grass. And I don't mind having the welfare cabins there. I've surveyed that field so many times now. In the past we had a thing going. The drainage, we know the drainage locations. There's actually an ideal place which would also benefit the football club, like create a bit more of a wind break if they went along the east edge of the green on the edge of the car park. It's equally as close to the cabin, the existing building, equally as close to the drains. The drains and the electricity are, it's a little bit of a misnomer story because it's a digger and some pipe. As Rory knows, I've regularly had some diggers and some pipe down there because I actually had to bury the previous temporary cabins. They're in the bottom of my garden at the minute because I had to bury them because they were the temporary ones that rotted to the point where they couldn't be lifted. So I hired a digger, dug a big hole, buried them, set fire to them, and then covered it up because we couldn't move them. So the fact that that's temporary, the previous thing that's still there now was even more temporary. It was condemned when they bought it because it was moved by the cricket club. So it was only ever meant to be temporary. I have a fear that if we have another row of welfare units, which cannot be cheap for the football club to rent anyway, they're going to become permanent temporary structures again. Which if they become permanent temporary structures again, I can see that the likelihood that they're going to be is exactly on the same place as the previous ones, which are buried in the bottom of my garden, just on the other side of my fence, which is not really acceptable to anybody. They cause an obstruction. I don't mind the football club doing whatever the hell it likes down there. I've long since past caring about the football club being there. What I object to is the apparent ingrained right that the football club thinks that it should just be able to do what it wants. And it's a parish facility, not a football facility. If the football club want temporary cabins, the football club have temporary cabins where the parish say they go. That involves not blocking the road, hence not taking up car park space to block the road. So that's basically it. Put them where the hell you like. There's lots of space. Don't take the car park up.
Is this where we're discussing this, or is this a point on the agenda?
The facilities are not on the agenda until September.
Okay.
Okay, can I just answer the question for you, Jane? Do you want to have a?
Yeah, I'll say. The last thing that the parish council wants to do is see the football club leave. We're very much aware of how important it is and has been and hopefully will continue to be. What we do want is the football club to accept that it is not their field. It is not their clubhouse. It is for the parish. We have had children being sent away from playing on their playing field because there's a football match. Now, we're working closely
Not by us.
with Lincolnshire FA, who are supporting us and guiding us and advising us. We've been informed that there is in excess of 250,000, that's £250,000 in different grants. And we will apply for those as the parish council. We would like to see facilities that everybody can be proud of. And although Links FA are coordinating the application for these grants, they're not just for football clubs. They are to support and encourage grassroots local sports. So we're talking possibly cricket nets, racket sports, all sorts of things, encouraging the schools to be able to come down and use it. It's a parish community playing field. It's a community pavilion. And any less than ideal facilities that may exist in the foreseeable future are only going to be temporary. And what we would say to everybody involved with the football club is, if you're prepared to knuckle down, suck it up, and deal with less than perfect facilities for a relatively short time, you will be able to share, and share is the optimum word, facilities that everyone can be proud of. And that's, that's what we want to do. It is not just about the football club.
Now, you do know we actually went down this route before, don't you?
Yeah,
Yes.
we do.
And
Yes.
you know the abuse that the people on the committee got
Yeah,
for trying to do so.
Yeah, we do. Yeah.
So-
And we're prepared for that because
Yeah.
we've already had it.
Yeah.
We've had it over weeks and weeks and weeks, but we are trying our best.
Can I just say as well,
Because the pavilion is not. a
it's
fit
not
for
suitable
purpose.
and
No.
it's totally unsafe. We actually got, or I got, to the point of speaking to several government agencies, and we were close to 800,000 in grant before everybody decided that we were a bunch of
Yeah.
whatever we were, and we decided to all call it a day.
Yeah.
The facility would probably be in place now because after
The-
COVID,
Too much
That-
arguing and
that-
not enough doing.
after COVID, that grant aid actually went up.
Yeah.
So we would have probably had a brand new facility now, a roundabout in the middle of the village, a lay-by with the cars off the side of the road so they didn't get smashed into by boy races. But no.
We're
So-
not prepared to do a half-assed patch-up job
Yeah.
because that's got us nowhere.
Mm-hmm.
The facilities themselves, as they are not up to standard. The breeze block benches, the showers, they are all far, far below what would be expected and accepted. So we want to do it properly. And if we have to pay, or we will have to pay, proper tradesmen to do it, then we will. But we need to work together on it. And, you know, we don't want the football club to leave. But if they feel that they can't work with us and adapt and accept that they might have to rough it for a season, then that's their choice. But we're perfectly happy to support them and actually seek their advice as to what they would like to see in new facilities that would make it easier, more efficient for them. But it's not for them, it's for everybody.
Yeah.
Like,
Thank you for allowing me to speak. There is at no point ever that the football club have sought to gain control of the field or make it for a place that other people aren't welcome. With regards to the earlier quotation of some child that we're not allowed to play, well, I don't recognise that event. I don't know what it's about. It seems like trying to buy some meeting. I know it's been recorded. We definitely want to work with the parish council, and that's why we keep coming to the meetings all the time. We're very reasonable. We speak in a reasonable tone. We don't make wild allegations about potential motive. I don't. Murray doesn't make any.
I didn't say, I said something.
And I'm the chairman, and all the normal route of talking to the football club is through the chairman, I think. And I'm very reasonable. I'm always very reasonable with you. I'm not going to get into wild speculation on Facebook. We have asked you for permission to cite temporary welfare facilities whilst we're not able to use the clubhouse for whatever reason that may be closed at the moment. We're not in charge of the clubhouse. It's your clubhouse, it's your field. We've always said that. But the village has a proud history since 1968 of hosting Pointon Football Club on the field. Many of the local people that played for the team still play for the team, and we're a community team. And we're very, very welcome. I'm not really interested in any bad mouthing on Facebook. I see it, but I don't comment.
yeah,
Because,
that's absolutely
you know,
fine.
and
We're
also
not asking for
we-
them used to be on the car park.
no, we never ever ask for those welfare units to be cited on the car
There's
park.
just one welfare unit was discussed.
As the last
It
meeting,
was one
it was
welfare.
one welfare
Provisions
unit.
we're asking.
So we're asking for permission to cite some welfare units
Yeah.
on the grass by the amenities, as we discussed in the last meeting. That's all we're asking. I've only come to this meeting to discuss that. There may be lots of other things you want to talk about, but that's what I'm here for.
That it was discussed at the last meeting.
Yes,
wasn't
and
it?
you said you make a decision by this meeting.
And it was resolved at the last meeting, and it's in the minutes, that a 20BA unit. Then the other gentleman, your development officer.
Yes, Steve Bacon.
Yeah, I can't say it because it's been recorded. He then asked me for 5 units. And for it to go
I
on
think
the
you want
agenda.
clarification on what we were allowed to do,
But
and you haven't replied, John.
that bit I have, because when that asking of 5 units came to my email box, it was after the agenda had gone out.
Just to clarify, 5 units involve 2 showers and 3 toilets, I believe. And that's what you're talking about, isn't
Yeah.
it? Yeah, okay. Because we've already, as you know, complied
Sorry,
with...
2 of those were changing rooms. So 2 changing rooms,
Two changing rooms.
a toilet, a
There was-
disabled toilet, and a
No,
shower.
there was 2 lots of toilets.
There's 5 units.
Yes, but there's
altogether.
2 lots of toilets that were different sizes. There was then a disabled toilet and 2 changing rooms.
But it was only agreed as one unit.
But it
at the
was
last.
agreed as one unit at the last meeting.
And as
The
to
development officer then asked me about the 5 units, but that was after the agenda had gone out.
So it's on September.
So that's why I replied to him that we would put it on the September agenda.
So,
has it been agreed that
are we granted permission for 1 unit?
The 20B8, yes.
Thank you very much for that.
That was.
And that's the way we should do it.
Yeah,
That's
But
No.
outside of this, I feel that I'm not going to tell you how to do stuff, but you know I'm parish council and district council as well. It might be useful to appoint somebody from your parish council to liaise with us in between meetings so that we can
Well,
approach you and get
our
things
clerk
done.
has
We
been-
send lots of emails, but they don't get answered.
yeah, but the clerk is dealing with Bacon, Mr. Bacon?
Yeah,
And Mr. Turner, you get lots of
Yeah.
emails, don't you?
Yeah. I do. And it was agreed at the last meeting on the 28th. That was resolved on the night of the meeting in July. I've contacted.
And what was agreed at that meeting?
At
Was that
20
you liaise with us so that we can
No,
arrange to
at-
correct to the electric
at
and
20
water?
It was a 20B8 unit. You needed our permission for SKDC for your grant.
Exactly, in writing. Yeah.
That's why I got the minutes
I-
across straight away.
But
So-
you haven't sent us that permission.
I have, because it was in, and I said, here's the minutes,
We don't
We-
think you've sent us that permission.
here's
Would you
your
be able to send it
permission.
again?
and I've already contacted
And-
SKDC
And does
saying
that
that we do
include
have
connecting the electrics and the water?
We agreed then that once you'd worked out your sizing and where it was going to be put, we'd meet on site to then connect, for you to connect us.
So that sounds really good then.
Yeah,
Really good.
that was all done at the July meeting.
Okay, but we didn't get formal notification of it, which is why I'm here to do it.
I think the notification was given, it was sent
Yeah.
by email,
Yeah.
wasn't it?
I don't, yeah, I'm not going to argue with you, I'm
No,
pleased that you've agreed
Just
to
saying,
let us
I
site
can't get it on there because I've not got
There's no Wi-Fi.
no Wi-Fi.
Can I just ask another question?
Yeah.
Did you
But this
have-
is all being recorded. isn't
Yeah,
it?
yeah.
Sorry.
This is
I
all
think
being
somebody else is
recorded
going to
anyway.
have that.
Yeah,
Perfect.
I'll find you at the end of the meeting.
Thank you.
Okay, anybody else?
Can I just ask Parish why Miss Greenwood wasn't granted permission to do his car fest thing? He's done it for the past 21 years. What's the issue with him not doing it this year?
There was no facilities available for the amount of people that was going to be on the car park, and for the 3 days, it was for 3 days as well. There was going to be nothing on there at all.
Is that in the minutes?
Yeah, it
Yeah,
is
it
on
is
the
in the
minutes,
minutes.
and minutes are recorded as well. Hiya.
Hi. Right, we live down Fen Road, so we've sent a couple of videos, and I know that the chair's son has also been witness to it. A lot of the white boy racers, they come down, they use the car park. It's not the footballers, okay, it's not the
Do
footballers.
you know who they are?
Yeah, and we've sent it to the police as well. But my question is, that gate always used to be locked for that very reason, to stop that happening. Are the parish council going to look at relocking that gate, because we have that lovely bit at the side so we can go through with our dogs?
Yeah, I believe it was locked, and it has been locked.
No,
think we
no,
should open.
no.
Your bank doesn't come and do it anymore, does it?
No, it's, I can assure you,
Right.
Christine, honestly,
Right,
it's not been
okay,
done for
right.
That is something we didn't know about.
No, we didn't know that.
Yeah.
We'll have a look at that.
Thank you.
Can I just add something to that? Way back in the day, I said that we would donate an electricity supply from our house to put a keypad on it and have it as a locked lock, so you can either fob it or keypad it. Still quite happy to do that and just have a secure lock. It's locked all the time, and all you have to do is issue the people who require vehicular access
Yeah.
a fob, i.e. the bin man which don't come anymore because the clubhouse isn't running, the train doesn't come anymore, so it can get delivered. It's only really the football guys that need their cars in. Everybody else typically walks, so lock the thing,
Yeah.
give them a
Okay,
key
thank you
fob.
very much. We'll liaise.
While I'm still on the lead, quickly, is there a policy on wind turbines in the village domestics? Do you know if there is?
I don't know. I know.
Yeah, because I want to put a wind turbine in. It's always windy in my garden, so I may as well use the wind.
I think that's a good idea, Mike.
Yeah.
I think we
I
probably
just
need to
wanted
seek
to- I just-
planning permission from SKDC.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think it's just as a, I think nationally there's a certain maximum height and blade span.
I just wanted to concur, but also say that I did bring this up before about this gate because there's a couple of issues there. One, if it is left open, not only is it the boy races, but we could end up with a commune on there if they get in there.
We've already had this discussion as well.
I just wanted to say that, but also, and I haven't been down there for a while, but when I picked it up before, it's the thought of access for people who might not be able to get under that gate, etc. So perhaps people with disabilities. So when I raised it, and it might well be what you're talking about having an electronic gate, it's people that.
Well, we have the side
Oh,
gate.
we have the side gate.
The side gate,
Okay, that's fine. Yeah,
It's
yeah.
brilliant, it's
Yeah,
lovely
that's
and
great.
wide,
Yeah,
it's
brilliant.
wide
Yeah.
enough for a
I haven't
mobility
been-
scooter.
It wasn't there before, but
No,
that was
it
right,
is there now.
fine. Okay, yeah.
Okay, anybody else before I close, before we go into session? Thank you very much all for coming tonight, really appreciate it. Right, we're going to session then, so standing orders are applied, please, to everybody.
Is there any points I might have to answer later, or shall I withdraw it? Christine?
There's just the
Memorial bench.
memorial bench
bench,
and
yeah.
pitch, and pitch. That's all there is.
Do you want me to wait?
It's up to you.
You can bring it forward.
I
if
can
it's
bring it
easier.
forward, if you prefer.
If you-
If I
if you
can
don't
still
mind.
apologies, and then I'll
Sorry,
bring
I
it
left
forward.
point coaching.
Yeah,
that's
no,
fine.
if you want to.
Okay, so we'll just go through received apologies and accepted. Are we all okay with that? Yeah. Anybody declaration of interest? No. No? Right.
Before you do that, can I say,
Yeah,
apologies have been received
thank you.
from
Mr Wesley?
Mr Wesley, Councillor Wesley, I couldn't remember his name,
Christie?
and Councillor Christie,
Yeah,
because they're out of work at the moment.
yeah.
Is it
Fine.
on
There
the-
is harvesting.
Yeah.
Right, I'll just do the signing of the minutes and then I'll do it
Yeah,
before
no
we go.
problem. I'm
Okay.
sorry.
We can sign at the end.
Do you want to sign at the end?
Yeah, sign at the
Okay.
end.
Right, so before we do the finances then, we'll go to number 8. Okay. The sighting of the memorial bench. Any ideas, guys, what you would think?
I think the best place, bearing in mind that we're anticipating a lot of work around the pavilion and that side, that border, I think the best place would be on the, north side?
Where
No.
the, which side?
Basically, the far
The
side.
far side, where the dugouts
Yeah,
are.
nearest to the tree line.
Where
nearest the tree
where
line.
your dugouts are?
Yeah. Do you want, should we meet and discuss an exact location? Because
Well-
I don't want to annoy you, I want to do the right thing.
Well, the thing is, it depends where, I mean, I was thinking...
Where was you thinking?
Yeah, where were you thinking?
No, I think that side's good, and because that's where we would be normally on a Saturday. And,
Because you've
I
got
don't
benches.
know if you're aware, we raised £5,184 on Saturday for cancer.
So, I mean, we also...
From the first event, and we're hoping to do it annually.
Yeah, we also thought about near the car park, but then we're going to have to put fencing across there because that's what we need to do
Yeah.
to stop the balls from going, and we don't know whether people would climb on it. So we thought, well, I thought that side would be nice because...
No, I think that's good. So,
Or
what
by-
about I take a photo and
Yeah.
send it to you in an email of the position, and then you agree it via email?
Yeah,
Is
that's
that
fine.
okay?
Yeah,
Thank you very much for agreeing. by
and
the
then
way.
it's
I
just...
know the best family will be really happy.
Yeah, and it won't go on our asset register, it'll be for your maintenance, okay?
Yeah, we'll look after it.
Yeah, that's fine, okay, thank you.
Seeing you just mentioned the dugouts, could I just have, you know how we started doing things between us Mary properly?
Yes, yeah.
And that's why that was on.
Oh, do you want a
the agenda.
receipt for those?
No, then two dugouts.
Yeah.
The last time that was mentioned, Rob, it was all just
Conversation.
conversation.
Okay.
I haven't actually had anything official, email or whatever, about those dugouts.
Okay. So
Can you
what
just
would you...
drop me something
Yes, of
saying,
course, sorry.
you know, and then it can be minuted, and then going down, like we've found a lot of grey areas.
There were previous dugouts there, but probably I should have sent you an email
But that's it, you know, and then we don't have these grey areas.
I think if it was retrospective planning
It
permission.
just, yeah.
Thank you.
I mean, they do
There
look
is
really
actually
nice.
planning permission for dugouts there. believe it or
We
not.
may,
They do look nice.
we may need them moving a bit,
Well,
just
that's fine.
simply so that when the grass contractor comes round, he can
No.
get
Yeah.
between
no
them.
problem. No
Yeah.
problem.
But, you
When he
know,
came round the other day, we'd already done that bit, so
Yeah.
he came to the agreement and he
Yeah.
can do it.
right,
But
so,
we'll certainly move them with that sort of
Yeah,
stuff.
that, you know,
No problem.
because we're paying for the grass to be cut, and if he can't get round,
I like a big technical area.
so,
Okay, so
that's it.
Thank you.
right, so,
You'll be wanting screens next, for him to go off and have a look and do all things.
We might want lots of things, but we won't do anything about approval from parish council.
Old Pointon Trafford.
Yeah,
right, and then, you've already done the skip, so that's already been sorted.
yeah.
And to consider the contribution from the parish council for the skip. Have you applied to us for the grant for that? Do you know?
No, we haven't applied.
Right, okay, so that needs to be applied for.
Should we apply
To the parish?
via that grant process
Yes,
that Rowan
please.
has outlined to me?
Yeah,
Okay.
please.
Thank you. I don't think it's very much.
No, okay, so we can do that. And then we were just going to talk about ratifying the number of pictures as well, bearing in mind what we've got coming up. So can I have some thoughts, people, please?
I personally think that one pitch is sufficient because with the fixture list that we have had so far, there are no matches doubling up on any one given day.
That's not really, no disrespect, that's not really how we use the field.
So it's not, no disrespect, it's not your field.
No, but I can explain the reason why we traditionally had two pitches, if you like. And it's because in the winter time, the cut grounds, you had to rest one to make the field look good, or you just have a big money mess. So we move on to the other pitch in the winter months. When, do you see what I mean? We rotate the pitches.
You don't play at home every week.
No, it doesn't matter. The weather doesn't care when you're at home.
The only thing, if I can say, is that because we're looking at the play equipment as well,
Yeah,
it's
I'm
going to
aware of
start
that.
to encroach.
I'm
And
very
because
aware
we're
of that.
now-
I think
because
you
we're
rush to
now-
make a decision about the size before you
No,
have got the
because,
actual play equipment, and obviously it's your field and you can do whatever you like.
yeah, I mean, we.
But for the moment, I can't see a reason to cut the bit. Well, basically, to make the grass better, we use another pitch when it's getting really worn out. Otherwise, you'd have a really
So you know when
mess.
you train, do you train on the pitch that's already there?
Most
or
of
do
the
you-
time, we don't even train on the pitch.
Right. Okay, so if you only had the one pitch, you could train on the side that you.
We
there's
do that
another
already
pitch.
because during the winter time it gets very muddy, and that's the reason we rotate the pitch. I'm sorry to repeat the same point. We rotate the pitches so that we've got a pitch to play on.
Okay.
Otherwise, it'd be a mud bath during the winter.
Does every local football club have two pitches, or is that a
I'm
luxury?
not aware, but when, let's say for example, a lot of the teams we play because we're in a remote area, like town teams, there'll be other pitches available. So for example, if you play at Peter Payne Centre at Boston, there's 5 or 6 teams play out there. They've got 10 pitches and they rotate them around for the same reason that I've just explained. It's the same at Grantham on all the local
Okay,
council
so
pitches.
shall we?
Is it something that we can do on a needs must basis? Say that, you know, there is one pitch and should it be necessary to move across and use the second one, then that's acceptable.
That's
right?
entirely the way that we would use it anyway.
Okay, so if we say that you have one permanent pitch for yourself, and if you need to have a pitch because you've got tournaments coming up or you've got something
We're definitely
coming up, then we
communicating
can
via
communicate
the-
and say,
yes.
would you mind if we line mark the second pitch for ourselves, please? And I think in that way, it'll keep your line marking costs down as well, and your mowing and everything else.
It will, but it's not. I don't mean to be awkward, but it's not down to me how the weather is over the winter.
Yeah.
We might have a brilliant winter, and we only need to play on one pitch, and then if we don't, I'll certainly send an email to her, and it looks like we're going to use second pitch. We're going to mark it out. because we'd rather use a little line paint anyway
Yeah,
as
well
possible.
that's, I mean, I don't know how anybody feels about that. Do we agree with that?
Yeah.
Roy, how do you feel about that?
Yeah,
Yeah? So you have your one permanent pitch, which is yours, and then if you need...
It's not ours, it's always
No.
yours.
I know, but it's going to be your pitch to cut and do
Yeah,
whatever
yeah,
you
yeah.
need to. Okay? Are we all agree with
Yes.
that? So one pitch for now, and then the football club will inform us as and when they need the second pitch.
And we'll send photographic evidence.
That's fine. Okay. And that's all there is.
Thank you very much.
No
Thank you ever so much for your time.
That's okay. I'll speak to you soon.
I will find that email and bounce it across to you.
Well, it's all been noted and it's
Yeah,
recorded, so
yeah.
we're all official now. Anyway.
Yeah.
Thank you ever so much.
Okay, no problem at all. Right, so can we approve the minutes then? Are we all agreed with the minutes from last meeting? Yeah. Rowena.
Yes, sorry, I have found it now.
I think, I can't remember the date, but I know.
Thursday, 27th of July.
That's right, yeah. Yeah. Okay. Right, so, payments, report by the clerk, then please.
The normal grass cutting, a training session that I did on risk assessment and fire safety, so I had a day of setting fire extinguishers off.
Right.
The election costs that we've budgeted £1,000 for, we managed to come in at £77. Maria wage, the normal trade waste for August, and then in B moving forward,
Just,
Sorry, yeah.
sorry, the trade waste,
yeah,
do they collect a certain day if we're going to take the down from another
No.
waste keypad?
but at the moment they have got a code to get in the bin,
Right, but I'm thinking
so
of the
they'd
gate.
be happy to have a code
Right, okay.
for,
It
I
was just
can,
done
yeah,
to
I
run
can
the
pass
office.
it on and give the code
Yeah.
for the gate.
Okay,
So that's the general run-of-the-mill things.
your wages.
Obviously things like the grass cutting, I'm showing you the amount that's going out of the bank account,
Yeah,
but that has obviously got VAT added to it,
Yeah.
so
okay,
we can claim VAT back.
okay,
And then my wage to go out at the end of the month.
okay. Consider the bank reconciliation.
I'll
Yeah.
send to you.
Yeah, did you all okay with that? No. Okay. Clerk's report for outstanding matters and from the previous meeting.
We've had VAT reclaim come in at £1,070. I've only been able to go back for 3 years, that's all we are allowed. I couldn't find any reclaim before that, so we have lost money. But, you know, we've done that.
It's still £1,000.
It's still £1,000 that we've got that we wouldn't have had. Like I said, already raised it that I've been working with the development officer and I've already contacted SKDC to say that we were happy because they needed to know for their grant purposes whether we could. They had our, approval.
Right.
So I've already done that.
I'll have a suggestion about VAT at the end of the financial year.
You may have, but I might want to spend it on something else.
Well,
And everything else that we're just, Murray's been sending me the, when they play, the schedule, so I've got nice green writing in my diary now.
Okay, so the communication was
So the communication, yeah.
Brilliant, okay, that's great. Right, policies to review, social media policy. Presume we've all read it, dignity at work, documents, maintain policy and an accessibility statement, yeah?
7 hours of my life I will be back.
Are we all okay with that? And I read them and understood them?
What's wrong with the dignity of work? Is it only about 27 pages long?
Are you sure? Not 28 to 26? No, it's 28 actually.
Leave 28.
The front page included.
I just write it. That's part of the civility and respect that we've already agreed to.
Right, so update on the pavilion and considering formatting a working party for the rebuild or grants or whatever we can get, really. So, I think under that as well, thanks Roy for letting us know about the Harris fencing not being up. I hadn't realised that it had fallen down or pushed. I know that.
It's up against the fence, it's nowhere near.
Rob and I went down a few weeks ago and we had to rewire tie it because somebody had been at the back messing around with it. My only concern now is that it's open now for everybody because the gate has not got a bolt on it either. So because it was closed because of safety, I'm concerned that we're going to have to
The
look.
bolt was on it when I went round the back, because obviously I could have wanted it to well, but people went round the back.
To be fair, it would have been nice if you just tipped us the wink that there wasn't any fencing there to block off the access anymore.
Well,
The councillors
It
had
wasn't
one.
blocking anything anyway.
But it, I
But
mean,
you knew it was supposed to be because you were here at a meeting when we said we had to block it off.
well, we had to block off the footpath as well,
Yeah.
didn't we?
That came from SKDC.
Yeah. So we need to now get it secure because the gate is now unsecure and we need to secure it. So we need to have a look for some house fencing or something to put there to make sure that it's
Quite
blocked off.
often there's something that's advertised on Facebook Marketplace.
Yeah.
And it would just be a question of collecting it, but we've got people with tractors and trailers.
Yeah. We just need to block it off because of the footpath and that wall as well.
But do we own the fencing that is surrounding the old market site? It is ours, isn't it?
Yeah. Okay. Right. So are we going to look to see if we can form a work party for the pavilion? Because I think we're going to have to try and get people involved. I'd like to be parish councillors as well. Well, some of us. Whoever wants to help. To get the grants organised, and we'll see if we can ask members of the public to help as well. We're going to need as
Writing
much help.
letters and begging letters.
Yeah, I think we're going to have to.
Anybody else who'd like to join us?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. It's really going to be a matter of trying to get grants, seeing where we want to place it, and go from there.
I
Okay.
think at the moment we still need to know about the roof.
Yeah, we've got that to come up with.
And then once we know where the roof is and what state the roof is in, then you'll know whether
To be
it's
quite honest,
a refurb
yeah.
or a rebuild.
I mean, we went in a few weeks ago, and it's getting worse than that.
Yeah, because there's no airflow at the
But
moment.
not only that, it's you can see round the back where parts of it are coming away now. It's just
Unfortunately, the roofer that was going to look at it has got tied up with harvest and things like that, but he was a proper roofer. He will fit it in, but obviously at the
Harvest
moment
comes.
you've got to do the farm. Yeah.
The grants that you're talking about, how long are they likely to take to come through? I mean, what sort of period of time are you looking at?
We've been advised of 3 specific grants that we would be entitled to. One, and without going through emails and things, I can't remember, I've slept since then, which ones are available for what purpose, but there is one that relates to development and support of the field itself, which is on a sliding scale over, I think it's 3 years, isn't
yes,
it?
it is.
So you get a big wodge the first year, and then a slightly less wodge the second year, and a slightly less wodge the third year. But it's to bring it up to standards.
So does that include things like the play?
Yeah. Yeah.
No, well, the play equipment is a separate entity.
But it's all to do with the playing field,
Yeah,
so
the
the
whole
cutting
field.
and the maintenance and the trees and stuff like that.
There is a smaller grant of around £50,000, which this is one that I can't remember exactly what it's for, but we are entitled. And that can be approved and dispersed within a very short time. I'm talking weeks, a couple of months. You know, it's there, it's available. The biggie, the £250,000 one, is totally supported and guided by an experienced consultant from the FA who's done these refurbs and rebuilds before, and we'll go through and say, right, this is what you've got, this is the footprint you've got to start with, this is how, you know, we could perhaps move this, move that, put an extra bit on the back. The funds will be released as and when. They take a little bit longer to be approved, but we're talking within our terms of office. And the other thing that they did say was that if we are circumspect with our budget and we don't spend it all and we've got 10 grand left, they're not going to say we want it back, we're going to put it towards play equipment. So it's there, and we want to use it. It includes the car park. You know, one of the things is a proper surface on the car park with bays, with disabled bays, a fence in between, because as they pointed out, if you've got children playing on a playing field, they tend to run out. And the idea of having a barrier there is so they can't run straight out onto a working car park. You know, there's a lot to be done.
Going into children's.
Yeah, so a lot of it will be fenced up. But when I spoke to them with regard to the pavilion, if the pavilion is going to have to be knocked down, there is already facilities there. So we have sewage, we have water, we have electric. A lot of that is cost when you initially, but because we've already got that, then it's just a matter of putting something on it.
Knocked down rather than.
Yeah. Because the underneath of it is, I looked at some of the very old minutes of the meetings when it was originally put up there. It's only like a concrete underneath anyway. There's no sort of foundations because you can't have foundations on the playing field anyway. So that would all have to be done and then a new section put on. But because we've got facilities already there, that is half of your cost. If you don't have today's sewerage, electric and water, that is your biggest cost when you're doing building.
The utilities, and actually it's mains drainage. I didn't realise that. I thought it was a septic tank. It's mains drainage. So that's a good start.
Is there anything like tennis courts? Have you got plans for any other sports?
This grant is for ground roots level of all facilities.
Right.
So once we get to the stages, then we can go out to the public and say to the parishioners, what are you looking for?
Well, we did, didn't we?
Yeah, and we did.
And there's what part of the plans for the play equipment include a fenced off, hard standing, marked out tennis court, you know, and that's included in it.
Yeah.
So, you know, there's the climbing frames and the bits and bobs.
The thing is, there's a lot going on behind the scenes. All this takes time, and it's just trying to get everything together and finding out what we can work with. And this is going to be the hardest time, is to get everything done. But we want to put a facility in that everybody can use. You know, if we start doing car boots again, or we have party in the parks like we used to do, those facilities are going to be there for everybody to use. If you're going down with the grandkids and the toilets can be open, because what they've suggested is you have the toilets separate from the clubhouse, attached to it through a door, but you can open the toilets for people to use, but don't have to have the clubhouse open. So if you're taking young children down there and they need a wee, then you've got a toilet to go into. And all these little things, because we're working with them, is all coming up. And we go, oh, that's a good idea, we never thought about that.
Because they've done it before.
We have, and they've got all these blueprints and they say, right, this is what we think you need. Then we're going to have a meeting and have a word with everybody and say, what do you think? So that's what we're looking at. Okay? Right. So we talked about bench and right. So we've done number 8. That's fine. So number 9 then. Right, so we've had considered a request from a neighbouring tenant, the new neighbouring tenant, about trimming the conifers and replacing the fence and removing the gate along the driveway. Now, you know a bit about what we have to do with regarding to the tree line, don't we?
Well, the trees, I've been looking back and we have had, I can't find anything to say we've ever had a tree inspected on any of them
Right.
trees.
They need to, they're such size, they need to be inspected, they need
But
to be
it's
risk assessed.
really, for your insurance purposes,
Yes.
they should be risk assessed between every 2 to 3 years.
Especially with the amount of rabbits there are down there.
So,
The farmer's side was trimmed back 5 years ago, maybe.
yeah, but they are conifers, so they're fast growing, aren't they? But it isn't just a case of taking the height down, it's
The
to have
integrity of the roots.
yes, have a proper tree inspection done on all the trees, and yeah.
Okay, so with regarding to the...
Pardon?
You know what type of trees are
Big ones.
they? Whereas the thing, some trees have roots, some trees
That's
have
it,
shallow.
you see, and we've got a lot of rabbits, and we wouldn't have a leg to stand on if one of them, or any of the trees came down, because the first thing the insurance company would say is, where is your risk assessment? And we go, I ain't got one, never had one.
So can I suggest then that we have a look at that? And with regarding to the boundary fence, access and the condition of the fence altogether, that the councillors, we get together, maybe do a walk round and have a look at fencing, and we do the whole of the field, and then we can do a report on it.
Do we
see
know
how
why
go.
that gate was there in the first place?
That gate, I remember once it was there because there used to be a pathway leading out and onto the field.
I think there was that pathway number 10.
Yeah, and I'm sure that was cut off and it went down the driveway of the pavilion. It used to go over the driveway and out through the field where the bales are, but that was cut off and it was then decided to go down the driveway because that was, yeah, you're right, for what, 10, because the old gate is very old.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's been there as long as that.
yeah, so really it just needs making sure it's shut.
I think a proper walk round
Yeah.
and maybe
So
like
can I
the actual
suggest-
substance of
yeah.
what the fencing is.
Can I suggest that councillors, we get together when it's convenient for all of us and do a really good walk around the whole of the playing field, have a look at the fencing, see what we've got, what we haven't got, where the accesses are, and we do the whole lot, so
Yeah.
that we've got good knowledge, then we can come back and say we've done this. There's an old map and
I get on with tree inspection.
Yeah, okay, so we can do that.
You see, the gate from the footpath going from the high street through to the playing field, did you know that was broken?
Yes, I had noticed that it was, somebody was swinging on it. If you-
Oh, no.
Yeah,
Don't know.
I know. We've repaired it once before, when we did all that cut-in and the walkway. Dean repaired it, they took it off and repaired it, but somebody's broken it again, has it? Has it
Yeah.
all come off completely now?
It's, the gate is there, but you can't, there's no bolt and
Is it
like
not
it's coming
swinging?
apart. Pardon?
There's not, there was like a
Yeah.
spring on it, they've
I
broken
don't
that.
think that's on it, I think.
Right,
I
okay.
don't think so. When I went through it this morning, it was...
It was loose. Okay, we'll have a look at that, thank you. Right, okay, so 9B then, the removal of the trailer belonging to Councillor Greenwood.
Yeah, I'd just like to know why I wasn't informed that it was going to happen.
Good question.
I don't think Councillor Green was in the country at the time. And
I
I
can
know,
still read emails, I'm well aware.
I think there has been so much discussion, and members of the public that have been here regularly, so much discussion over equipment and things that are in the field. I think there was more than enough
Well, I
chooses
think
to
it was
remove
going
it.
back, I had a look at going back in the minutes, I think there was about 3 occasions where somebody's hurt themselves on there.
Yeah.
And I think it was decided, because going back to 2019, 2021, it was twice mentioned in 2020.
So why was none of this reported to me then? Why have I never heard about it until it's been removed? You know, the parish council asked me to remove the container, which I did. They asked me to remove the engine, which I did. They've asked us to fence off the equipment to the side of the tractor shed, which we've done. Had they asked me to remove the trailer, it would have happened. But no, they took it without my permission, which is totally out of order. Nobody's ever reported any accident to me at all.
It was minuted, I'm sure it was, on the minutes.
But when we
Going back,
took
it
the
goes
pavilion
back for a while.
when we took the pavilion back from the tenants, we went down as the entire council, except Councillor Green because he was abroad, and we worked our socks off and we cleared rubbish and mess and made it look so much tidier. And as far as we were concerned, it was an abandoned trailer in the corner that had caused problems.
I was going to say, is this the one in the far corner?
Yes,
Yeah.
far corner.
Yeah, so our son's friend climbed on that and fell through it
Yeah.
and scratched to the side, and we did mention that at a meeting.
Yeah, thank you.
We said that it's not safe. He scratched all the side of his body, and it's wood and metal, and yeah.
So why wasn't I informed of that?
You may
I
well
never
have
heard
been.
anything about it.
We mentioned it in the
We
meeting.
mentioned, yeah, we did mention
You
it.
may well have been.
Because I had to take him home and apologise to his mum, but luckily she's quite, you know.
Point people.
Such a litigious society now. We
Yeah,
just, as a
it
parish
still
council,
doesn't
we just cannot.
Different from the problem, that it was removed without my permission. It did not belong to the parish council. It
Well-
belonged to me, and it should have been down to me to have it removed.
The thing
Which
is,
I've done everything else the parish council's asked.
yeah, I mean, getting back to the stuff which is coming up, I want to talk to you about the removal of the risk round the shed and the inside of the shed as well, which needs to be dealt with as well.
That's still not answering the question, Christine. Why was it removed
Well,
without
at
me
the
knowing?
end of the day, your property was on parish council land. It's been sitting there for God knows how many years. It's not moved at all, never moved.
Don't you think so? But anyway, carry on.
Yeah, it's never been moved.
Never on.
Was it capable of being moved, really?
I think they dragged it out.
Yeah.
And it was decided that it needed to go.
So why weren't there any emails to me that you was doing that? You all must have had emails to say you was going to do this, that and the other. Why wasn't I in on it?
Well, we didn't have an email, did we?
Well, how did you get to manage to all get down there at the same time?
Because,
Do what you did.
because we knew that the tenant was going, and we decided that while we were down there.
How did you do that without emails? Phone calls or something?
Well, you weren't here, and we decided that we were going to go down there.
You decided, but
Yeah,
you
because
didn't
the
let me
place
know.
was a mess. It was
You didn't let me know, Christine.
You were away, Roy. You were.
I read
away.
emails when I'm on holiday.
Well,
I was back when that trailer was removed. I saw it on the car park, and the next day it had gone.
why didn't you ask a member of the council why it was on the car park then?
I didn't know what you were doing with it. Why did they tell me what they was doing with it? Who ordered the scrap man to come in and take it?
We did, as a council.
You did as a council. I sent an email asking the name of the scrap man so I could go down and fetch it back. No answer off anybody. No answer off anybody.
Well, unfortunately, it's gone, and it's not.
That's not good enough. I'm sorry. To me, you've stolen that trailer from me. That cost me money, not the parish council.
It's just been sitting there for years, Roy.
Doesn't matter how long it's been there. So is the container. You asked me to move that, it was moved.
And what about everything else that's now fenced off with the house fencing? All that.
The parish council asked me to fence that off, which I did.
So all of that that's behind there,
Yes,
who does that belong to?
me.
And everything in the shed, apart
Me.
from the
Wash it.
washer and the tractor.
Yeah. Well, you say it's your tractor, but that's another story.
Okay. Everything that's in there,
Yeah.
what working equipment is actually in there for the cutting of the field?
All of it.
Well, how much is, because we can't even get in there.
As a matter of fact, unbeknown to anybody else, I've just spent another £820 of my money to buy another tractor because we couldn't cut the grass. It was too long.
So how
So we've
much?
had to get something that can.
So how
And
much?
this is to cut parish council grass.
Well, no, you're cutting it for the football, not for the parish council. We've already got a contractor to cut the grass.
You have. And what happened? Memorial match Saturday morning. It's all cut nicely. Last week, all done, marked out. Who turns up Saturday morning? The grass cutter. Not at the beginning of the month when they're supposed to come. On the Saturday, when there's a memorial match. Luckily, he said he wouldn't cut it because he knew what would happen if he'd ripped them lines out. Then what would happen?
So getting back
That was
to,
another thing.
so
They-
getting
They're
back to
supposed
the
to tell
trailer.
the football club when they come in so the lines aren't marked out.
Okay, so we'll
I'll
have to.
work with the
Yeah.
contractor.
So everything that's outside the shed and everything inside the shed belongs to yourself.
Yes.
So with regarding to the incident of the trailer, can I suggest that you remove everything that belongs to you outside the shed and anything that you don't need for cutting the playing field gets removed as well?
Various
We
times
haven't
of the year we use the equipment outside.
Right, so everything that is used remains, anything that is not used be got rid of. Because there's old
it's
stuff
gone.
there.
It's
Well,
gone.
you've got an old tractor there that's falling to pieces, that's behind the Harris fencing.
That's for spares.
Yeah, but that's your equipment, Royce, it needs to
Yeah,
be gone.
right. So what happens when something breaks on one of the Toros? I go out and buy a new piece, it costs hundreds of pounds. When I've got a spare one, when I bought that Toro, that was donated with it for spare parts.
But you've got everything there that's behind the Harris fencing that's not completely blocked off. You can still get behind, but it looks a mess.
What now?
Yes,
Well, I don't think so.
well it does, because everything under there belongs to yourself, and we're getting back to...
So it looks a mess, but it belongs to me.
No, it looks a mess anyway. You've got old equipment there that shouldn't be there.
We have had an email from SKDC that said somebody had been injured.
Then again, why was that not sent to me?
It was sent to everybody.
Well, I certainly didn't get anything.
At the end of the day, if everything that is yours is removed, there will be no further mistakes of us using something that doesn't belong to us or disposing of something that doesn't belong to us.
Well, I propose that you remove everything behind the Harris fencing that you don't need, that you get rid of it. If it belongs to you, it moves. We need to see in that shed, which we still haven't got a key. The shed belongs to the parish council.
I will
We
check
need-
on that as well.
We will bring the rocket back, because the rocket needs to come back from where it is, because it's still sitting at the firm, it's never been touched. Although we've had saying, oh yeah, it's been revamped, it's never been touched. The company have said they want it out the way. So that rocket needs to come back and needs to go back in that shed. The shed belongs to the parish council, it always has done and always will be. So we need access to
Check
that.
on that, Christine.
It does, because I remember being on the parish council and I know that that shed
Did-
was always insured and it was
Yeah,
always part
Maybe
of the
so,
parish
maybe
council
so, it's
asset.
insured by the parish council. Who built it? Who paid for the bill?
It was the parish council. So at the end of the day, we need to get access to that shed. Everything in there that you've got, that you don't use, that's not used at all, needs to be removed.
And not being funny, we're not going to just accept, I need that, it's used. We want a justification of what it's used for.
Anything in there is used for cutting the playing field and grass at one stage or another. Sometimes we use one bit of equipment, other times we use two together, sometimes three together.
If it's regularly used and you can justify how it is regularly used, then as far as I'm concerned, it can stay. If it's something
The only thing that's not
if
used in
it's,
there,
if it's something that may or may not be used once or twice a year, then it needs to be stored somewhere else.
the only thing that's not used in there is the tractor. the old tractor.
which we want to sell and we want to get rid of.
Why do you want to? You said it belongs to the parish council. I should check that as well, because let me tell you this, the parish...
It's on the
the
asset
parish,
register.
yeah, because it's on the asset register, it doesn't mean to say it belongs to them. You look at your minutes and see who bought that
That's what an
tractor.
asset register's for, is it not?
Yeah.
So basically then,
Right,
everything
anyway,
that's in
that's
there,
another argument, but let me tell you, the parish council have not spent a penny piece on that tractor, right? Now you want to win and rob it for parts.
we want to get rid of it so we can use them, whatever money we can
What
get
do
to
you
go to
think
the
you're going to get
landfill.
off it?
Well, you don't know,
So
but it's
you've not
it's
spent
our
our
money.
money, you've not spent a penny piece on it. I've spent 650 quid on a pump for that thing before it broke.
The thing
That's
is,
less than
we
18
don't-
months old. You want a key, you're going to go in there and rob that 650 quid, same as you rob a trailer, and spend it for your play equipment. I've got no problems about raising money for playing equipment, but not robbing things off that. When the parish council have not paid a penny piece towards it,
Okay,
Not
So
a
we
penny.
authorise you to spend all that money on it?
authorise.
Oh yeah, I mean, you can't make a unilateral decision on spending money if it's parish council stuff. It's a bit like the driveway all over again.
right, so I think that we propose that anything, all that rubbish outside, or all those equipment that's outside the tractor shed needs to be removed. The stuff there that shouldn't be there, the old tractor, that can all go. It can all be removed. I don't know where you're going to put it, that's up to yourself, it belongs to you. It's
And
your
fencing
own
can
private
go.
property, so you need to remove it. Then we're not going to have this issue where we've got the
How
house
long is it
fencing.
going to be, Christine, since you turn around and say, right, all your cooking equipment, I want it out your shed? How long is it going to be? Because I can see this coming up.
We don't mind the equipment you use
Listen,
for the
I've been
playground.
voluntarily cutting that grass for 20 odd years.
Yes, but it's,
Never a problem.
but Roy, at the end of the day, there is stuff in there, it's the same as getting back to the trailer. It's caused an injury. We need to be able to get it to our shed, which we insure, and be able to put stuff in there that we're going to need. Once this build starts, we're going to have to store stuff. We need to store it in the
So
shed.
you do want that stuff out then?
And we want it out, but we don't want that you
That's
don't
answered my
need.
question.
That you don't need.
That's answered my question.
That you don't need. I'm saying you can leave the stuff in that you need to cut the playing field, but at the end of the day,
Just
it's
take
your
note of this,
equipment.
parishioners, please.
It is your equipment. At the end of the day, it belongs to you, not the parish council. So you need to remove it.
For cutting the grass.
Yeah, you can cut your grass. You can cut the football grass. We're not saying not.
All the years we've been cutting that grass, right, voluntarily, it costs this parish
I'm not talking about...
£500 this
Excuse
time
me.
because of
Yeah,
fuel
but we
was
still
there.
pay the
It's-
PCFP. At the end of the day, we got the money from the football club. It went straight to the PCFP. That money was
Yes.
used to pay for them to cut the playing field.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
actually, it did cost because we never got anything from the
It
football
didn't
club
cost this
whatsoever.
parish, it cost you 250 odd
But we
quid,
never got any money from it,
£500
did we?
last year to cut that grass, to keep it in the condition that it was. You look at it now, it's a disgrace.
It is.
But at the end of the day, it's a playing field.
It is a playing field.
It is a playing field. And the football club can have their playing field, their pitch, however they want to do it. I'm not saying that. But everything that's there, that belongs to you, needs to be removed if it is not used. And that means that old tractor that's sitting there, that's got bits all over it, that needs to go. And anything else under there needs to go.
Right.
And we need access to the shed. Once you've emptied it of the things that belong to you, and just leave the cutting equipment for the field, then we need access to have a look and get that rocket back so we can store it correctly.
Yeah.
So I suggest that we give you 14 days.
You can
to
give
do
me as
so.
long as you like, Christine, but it's not going to happen. It'll go in my thing when I can find storage. You will not throw me out of there, and I can show you.
I second that.
Right,
14
so 14
days.
days.
Yeah,
That's what
And if
go
it's
ahead.
not removed
Ah.
within 14 days, we will...
Oh,
Hey.
no, I'm going, I'm just sick of you lot arguing.
These are the people I'm working with,
Um,
and there ain't any great thing for that.
Roy, we are trying to
Yeah, of
do
course
the
we
best
are.
things. We are trying... Look, you've
That's
done
why you
things.
reported me to the SKDC. Of course you did, you all did.
At the
Carry
end-
on with your meeting, carry on with your meeting, and I'm still part of it.
At the end of the the
You
day,
issue your warnings.
at the end of the day,
Are you
Roy,
going to vote on it
at
yet?
the end of the day, Roy,
Yeah?
that equipment belongs to you.
Yeah.
It is
Yeah.
on council property.
Yeah.
It needs to be made safe. It needs to be removed if it's not being
It's
used.
safe enough in that shed, Christine.
It's not, because we don't know what's in the shed, and
You,
we need
do
to
you
get
know
the
exactly
right
what's in that
No, I
shed?
don't.
You've
I've
all
never
been in
been
and
in.
had a look.
We've never been in.
You
How
were,
can
we had
get
an
in?
inspection a couple of years back.
That was a couple of years ago.
But
But
I'll
we've
tell you
never
what,
been
when you
since.
ever walk round your field to check your fencing,
Well, you're going to be there. You can
I
let
will
us
be
in.
there, I
You
will
can
let
let us
you
in.
in, certainly.
Because we need to get the rocket in there as well.
Oh, good. I don't know where you're going to put it like, but
Well, that's
It's wrong.
ridiculous that we cannot have access to our own shed, and you've been asked on numerous occasions
Yeah.
to provide us
Right,
with
yeah.
these so that we can. Your sarcasm doesn't work.
No,
It doesn't
well-
work with me.
listen, take a vote on it and make it legal.
Okay, I propose that Councillor Greenwood removes any property that is his from inside the shed and outside the shed and the entire environs of the parish playing field. And I propose that we give him a period of 14 days, which is more than reasonable, to remove it all. And if it's not removed within 14 days, we'll treat it as abandoned property and remove it ourselves.
Apart from the equipment that you need for cutting the playing field. Right?
Yep.
I agree.
Do you think that's me?
Well, I know you won't agree.
I might be.
Go on then.
No. 3-1.
Right, the container that's alongside the pavilion has got a new lock on it now. Do we know who the container belongs to? I know we changed the lock on it to make it safe, but the lock has been removed and a new lock put on.
On the day that the tenant moved out, there was no lock on it, and in the keys, etc., that were handed over to me, there was a padlock. So I simply placed a padlock on
Because the container's going to
because
have to be
the
removed.
container door was open.
Because the container will have to be removed to have new facilities put on anyway. So we've got to find out who the ownership of that is. Because I thought it was parish councils. But whoever's changed the lock then, it's not ours then. Because that's why I thought with the lock putting on it, we could take responsibility for it.
Do you have any idea, Councillor Greenwood, who might own it or who's changed the
Which one we're talking about? The one?
You know,
The ref
ref one.
unisex
No.
shower one that's
Do we
attached.
know?
That would actually might even belong to the football club.
Okay.
There used to be toilets there at one time,
Yeah,
and then the tree blew down and made a hole in the roof.
yeah, it's a bit of a
And then
mess.
they bought that and a shower. So I suggest it's the football clubs.
So can we have a letter to them to
Yeah.
say, because when they came to have a look for the pavilion to be placed, that would have to be removed anyway. But it's not fit for purpose.
Well, the thing is, it's not going to be used again anyway because it hasn't got water attached.
Well, it's got a hole in the roof and the
Yeah,
floor,
so it's
got a hole in
taking
the
up
floor.
valuable space that we're going to need for the refurbishment, rebuild of the pavilion.
Right, the flower tubs, item 10, the flower tubs, Dean is going to get them done once harvesting is complete. We'll take them up to the farm, get them cleaned up, and then we'll place them on the playing field once that's all done, because I think that's going to be the best place for them, because they can be maintained and watered. Are we okay with that? Yeah. Right, maintenance of the website. I think that we should stay with Love, seeing that we've got Marina's got so much to do for all the grants applying for as well. Are we in agreement with that?
I
we'll stick with them?
totally agree with that. I second any proposal, and it's continuity.
Yeah. Are you okay with that, Roy?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so the white gates, to confirm the white gates, to enable us to apply to Lincolnshire County Council for the planning, is that correct?
Yeah, everything's come through from them.
So
And
these
they
are going to be
will-
white gates coming into the village, so it's going to define where the village starts and where it ends. So we
But
will have
I've
the
got
nice
to mark
white
X.
X to demark where it is.
I've got to mark X on the map.
So are we all okay and agree with them
Yes.
being placed, and then we can
Where,
ask for,
where are we going to put them?
I think where we are coming into the village,
From Billingham,
Billingborough,
On the 1177.
yeah,
yeah,
whereabouts?
I think on the 30 sign when you're
On the
coming in.
30 side.
Yeah, and the same on the other, Millthorpe.
How many gates yellow?
What about Millthorpe? Millthorpe will be that way, won't it? Well, we can't have one where that tree is, you know where the old baker house is? Right, you know the bakehouse?
Yeah, I mean, how many gates are we going to have?
1, 2,
How many
3,
sets?
4, isn't it? We can't have one on that side, can we? We can have a post though, painted and defined. And then one as you're coming into Bellingborough. And do we want one at the top end as well, Millthorpe? I think it would be nice to have one coming in the village as well, don't you? West Road. Is that what you're thinking?
No, I know what you mean, but there's nothing there.
There's nothing there on Millthorpe, is there? And you've got the ditch anyway, haven't you? You know where Millthorpe, as you're coming in?
I think to just demark the main village. So either have if you have the gates at Sempringham, then you can't really say it's Pointon. So I think if we start off and see how they work and have them coming into Pointon from Billingborough direction, Bourne direction, and possibly down by Pointon International Airport, where we come in from that direction, and then it's sort of like the
The
three
thing
ways
is, that
into the village.
I'm just worried that Millthorpe will think they're being neglected, and I don't want to do that.
Yeah.
But the trouble is, you've got the dip, so it's going to be very difficult to see. It will have to be before the dip, won't it?
I think if they go to Millthorpe, they need to be on the main road through Millthorpe as opposed to the 1177. Because if they're on the 1177, they're not referring to anything specific, are they? It's just two random gates on the main road.
So, do we say that we start at Pointon then, as you're coming into Pointon and Billingborough way,
Yeah.
and then we see how we go? Because we can put the 30 sign on the gate as well, can't we? Because that's the biggest issue, is coming into the village.
I don't know what the rules are about, but I think there must be specific rules on sighting of speed
Well,
limit
that's fine.
signs.
Right.
They need to be a certain height and a certain dimension.
This has come in today, and I've not forwarded it on to anybody. It was the apologies from Councillor Phil. And I asked about the speed limit extension, and he doesn't think the speed limit extension that we wanted would hit highways criteria, but he would take a closer look and get back to us on that. And we've had the Archer survey come back.
I mean, I certainly don't want Millthorpe to think
much
that they're
needed.
poor relations. But maybe as you turn into Millthorpe off of the crossroads,
Yeah, but that's not going to help to define it, is it?
it is for people actually going into Millthorpe.
But there's not much, when you're going into Millthorpe, they've got banks either side, there's not much room to put it on, and I think they are
Don't
privately
forget,
owned.
you can't put up to the road.
No.
I can't
You've
think of
got
anywhere else they
you've
could
got
go.
to imagine a normal width kitchen unit from the road, that normal width, and then you can put your gate, whatever size.
Does it have to be 3 foot away from the curb?
Yes.
Because of walking?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's got to be a 3 foot
Yeah.
thing, hasn't it?
I just think putting them on the main 1177 at Millthorpe is a pointless exercise.
What do you think, Ron? Oh,
Depends if you've got to leave 3 foot for them putting it.
yeah.
You only do one breed going down. That's
Yeah.
some of the places they do a little bit. But
Because as you're coming into Millthorpe, you come into the dip straight away, don't you? So you'd have to do it
coming
before,
into Millthorpe
from
village
Bourne.
itself, or from on Main 1177.
Yeah, from Bourne. You're going to have a look at it to see where it's going to...
Yeah, see, that's for people just going along. It's just a road.
Yes, it's mostly.
There's nothing there. There's no houses. The houses are in the hamlet of Millthorpe, are off the crossroads. So yes, somebody's turning off and going down in somewhere along that.
Okay,
main
so
road.
can we say then that we do Pointon going in and from Bourne way, and we do Bellingborough coming in that way, and we have a go and see what it looks like and try it.
What about West Road?
Well, we can do that
So
at a later date. Let's do the two sides first and
Okay.
see what it looks like, and then we can go from there. Would that cause problems for planning, or is it just
No.
register?
I just have to put,
Yeah.
I've now got the form. It's just we've got to say where we want it, and then they decide if we can have it there or not. So, like you say, you put it on the main road, the Millthorpe, then they turn around and say no.
Yeah. I think they might refuse it because there's a dip as well. So if we do it on
So
a straight line.
it's finding where it suits.
Does the Grange come under Pointon?
Yeah, I think it does.
So would it be better on, as you're coming in, before you get to the Grange, putting it on there? Because if that comes under Pointon, that has got, you've got more space there, haven't you?
It always
The
is the
inside.
Grange Bar Pointon.
So further. to
Yeah,
improve.
further up, yeah, as you're
Right.
coming in. It would look
And
better
it's
there.
Pointon Sempringham and Millthorpe.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, well, that's obviously between the two, isn't it?
Yeah. So if we do it from the Grange, but put it further down to the middle way, so when you're coming up over the brow of the hill, it's in front of you, isn't it?
I'm going for a drive around, aren't I?
Yeah. I'll take you round. And then from Bellingborough way, we do it before you get to the village. Yeah.
Before you get to, well before you get to the first bungalows. In fact, you put it where the plant tub was. Would
Yeah.
be a good spot.
Yeah, because that's defining Sempringham and Pointon. Yeah, okay. Are we agreed with that then? Are we all okay on that? Okay, right. Lincolnshire Alert, to consider adding Lincolnshire Alert to the website.
As a link for members of
As
the
a link,
public.
yeah.
Yeah, very sensible.
Is this the alert for flooding and stuff like that?
No, it was Roy, it's within Lincolnshire, and they let you know about scams and
Oh, I see.
things like that, and it was, you spotted, didn't you, that Dean's email had been hacked,
Yeah.
and you're signed up to Lincolnshire Alert, aren't you? Which is why we said, would it be good to put on the agenda and then it's on the website?
Right, are you going to put on the
I can put it on the-
Facebook?
Yeah,
yeah.
but I can put this room to put the link through.
The logo's already on the website.
Yeah, but it doesn't
Doesn't, oh, it's not a link.
doesn't go anywhere,
Yeah.
so we can easily make it into a link.
We used to have a flood alert as well, didn't we?
I don't know.
Yeah,
I've only been here a year.
Yeah, we used to, didn't we, Roy, have a flood alert as well?
I think so, yeah.
We used to have flood alert for
We used to have
the wash.
sandbags and all sorts, didn't we?
Yeah, because we used to get the sandbags and everything delivered when there was a flood alert. Let's have a look at that.
Oh, we tried sandbags last
So
time.
it'd be fine for
Rain.
I'll have a look because
Oh, no,
I've got the old stuff. I can have a look. See if I've got okay.
available as well.
Okay. Right. So dates for extra meetings then. So we were looking at.
Because
We put in that we were going to do it every other month. But I
every
think
other month, and then you came up and said you wanted every month.
while we get
And,
everything
yeah, and
sorted.
September is your last every month.
Are we still okay at school? Yeah.
I've not heard any otherwise.
So the next one is on the 19th of
19th.
September.
Yeah.
Are we okay with that? Are we going to do it every 4 weeks then?
So you want one in October.
So 1, 2, 3, 4. so that'd be the 17th of October.
Yeah.
Then 14th of October, November. One, two, three.
No, we've got,
21st
we've already
of
got
November.
one down for the 21st of November that came into
There's, yes,
every other month.
so stick to the 21st.
So we've already got one on the 21st.
So 21st of November.
There's the 14th final head on.
21st. So we're doing the 21st, yeah?
Yeah.
And then on,
19th of December.
no, do we want to do the 12th of December? Or do we want to do the 19th of December? Anybody?
Because you've got one already booked for the 16th of January.
So the 12th one.
12th of December?
12th of December.
God, Christmas.
And then we've got one date after that. Do you want to put the,
16th of
do
January.
you want to put that one back then to the 23rd?
Probably not,
Should we do the
because
16th?
that'll be around the time that Police Act has to
Oh,
be
right.
in,
So should we do the 16th of
16th
January?
which was what time, when was it?
It's usually about the 12th, isn't it? No, it was later.
It was 20th,
So that would give us time to talk about the precept and everything else.
yeah, Friday the 20th, it was the beginning of this year.
1, 2, 3, 4.
You've got even time to do that budget.
Then what about the 13th of Feb then? Do we want to keep sort of in the teens?
That's pancake day.
Yeah, that's all right. Well, I'll bring you pancakes.
I'd like to say no, I'm fine with it, yeah.
So I've got the 16th of Jan 2024,
Yeah,
13th of Feb,
yeah,
yeah,
Is
and the
that okay?
12th of March.
12th of March on the day off.
So shall we make it the following week then, the 19th of March?
Yeah.
Yeah? You okay with that, everyone? And then,
Well, we were already booked in for the 19th of March.
so what do you want to do?
Yeah, 19th of March is fine, we were already booked in for that.
Okay. 19th. What's tracking? Do we want to go any further or should we just leave it?
It's
in the-
making you uncomfortable talking about March 2024. Just do that a bit later.
Should we do it up to March? Yeah?
I just realised I'm here on my 30th wedding anniversary for you guys.
Oh, well, we'll give
On
you a
the
party.
19th, yeah, 19th of March.
Would you want to change that?
No?
If we can change it.
What's anyhow?
We'll give you some flowers then.
See,
It's cake.
We can change it if you
No.
want. Oh, okay.
Do you want the April one?
Yeah, might as well.
And then we'll write through the year.
So, 1, 2, 3, 4. That'll be the 16th of April.
Right.
Yeah?
Yeah.
That's 2024. And then we'll leave it at that and see how
Yeah,
it
because
goes.
we're
That's
already
1,
on,
2, 3,
we're
4,
already
5,
on
6.
the, we've already got 21st of May
Yeah.
as well.
Okay, right, so that's done. So we will close the meeting and end the parish council meeting.